So ever since this Gamergate situation took off, Kotaku has been at the forefront of this battle, always taking stances against gamers in most situations, especially when YouTubers and content creators of different types are calling out some of the nonsense in the gaming industry. Kotaku has always seemingly been right there at the right time to defend Sweet Baby Inc. or defend DEI being pushed into everything, finding every single reason that they can to attack people, call them issenphobes, misogynists, attacking white people in general as well, saying that you can't even be racist towards white people. It's literally impossible. You can't be racist towards them. Alyssa Mercanti, who is the senior editor of Kotaku, has spearheaded many of these incidents, often taking a very extreme stance whenever a situation like this arises, doing everything that she can to dig dirt up on people when it seems like she's being backed into a corner for the awful things that she says and does, such as the time when she was trying to go after Melanie Mack, dig up dirt on her, go into her past and find something to use against her, in the same way that she tried to go after Asmon Gold or go after Smash JT, which is a person that she has recently attacked by going after his real life family. I guess it shouldn't be surprising at this point that Kotaku is currently in flames. Their business is going down. It's in shambles. They just had to lay off a bunch of people today, and we're going to be talking about that, but first we have to talk about Smash JT's post. This is from him from yesterday. Kotaku, one of your writers, Alyssa Mercanti, is currently harassing me and is now DMing my wife on Facebook. This is completely unacceptable behavior and way out of bounds. Do you stand by this type of behavior? And he CC'd Grums. Kabrutus, of course, responded to this saying, dude, that's too effed up. What did she tell your wife? And then Smash JT said she wrote a very, very long message that could be summed up as just an unhinged rampage rambling. Alyssa is unwell. I'm honestly scared. And I do have the message that was written to his wife. We're going to be going over that as well as a couple things that he says, but he's telling the truth. She was harassing him because what happened was he quote tweeted somebody saying hashtag end Kotaku because that is something that he actually believes in. He even started a petition over it, which I believe as of today it has hit 1,000 signatures and it is climbing. But at the same time, I think that Kotaku is doing a good enough job on their own at making themselves look bad and ruining their own business by the things that they write and talk about. Let's refer to this post back here. Never thought I'd get so much pleasure over Alyssa Merc spurging out about me, but here we are. Hashtag end Kotaku. This has happened in the past where people quote tweet other people that are making content about the people they're talking about, and sometimes they can have a history. And it's not something that you can always catch, but it sometimes does happen. Now, apparently the guy took the post down and apologized to Alyssa Mercanti because he didn't realize that this was something that she was dealing with. He doesn't really know the guy that he quote tweeted, and we'll take a look at that guy's channel. I don't really care for the kind of content that it has either, but that's the kind of thing that happens. You know, sometimes people that share your views on, for example, Kotaku ending, you know, they could have different ways of going about situations. You know, the way that they confront these people, sometimes they'll make video games with Kotaku members' faces on it. It's difficult to feel sorry for people who play the victim when they're being plastered onto a video game character and being shot at in VR, when they openly admit that they want all of this attention. I mean, she even made a green screen with her own face on it, telling people to make as much content about her as they please. But of course, she then plays the victim and accuses everybody else of doing that exact same thing, even though she is doing that exact thing. So let me show you exactly how that is. The model gamer responded, wonder how long before she blocks you again or locks down her profile again. I say by day's end, one or the other will happen. And then Smash JT said, now she slid into my DMs like, B, I'm married, get the F out of here. And then she said, so you think it's funny that you platformed a man threatening to kill me? Anyway, I found your wife's Facebook and asked what she thinks about the father of her children harassing a woman online and laughing when she shares that someone they're supporting has been threatening to kill them for weeks. So apparently, yes, he apologized to her, but she apparently still came after the guy, even though he apologized. She said, you retweeted a man who has been threatening to kill me for weeks with the hashtag end Kotaku, which is really not terrible or Smash JT's fault. It's not like he's gone onto this guy's channel and done weeks of research to see what kind of content he's been making. I went onto this guy's channel too, so I could see what's going on. All I could really see was a bunch of VR videos that some of them are a little bit nonsensical. I don't really get the full scope of what's been going on in this guy's channel. But when I clicked on that video with the gun on it that's pointed at Alyssa, I mean, he was saying a bunch of stuff, saying that, you know, Alyssa Mercanti's garbage and Kotaku's garbage, you need to end Kotaku and whatnot. I haven't actually seen any of the footage for whatever VR game this is where they're apparently putting Alyssa McConaughey's face on things. But again, this is something that she told people to do. She has been at the forefront of her own free will, constantly on the attack, attacking people all the time, saying that you can't be racist towards white people, constantly attacking Grums, saying that he's old and that he's probably into younger girls and that he could be all of these women's fathers, and saying that she can bench press more than him. She's talking a bunch of smack about people online, omitting very important facts that would vindicate innocent people in her own articles, and then going on and praising other people's articles who do the exact same thing in omitting facts and basically lying to people. She believes that she's the face of Kotaku, which she's not. But she also believes that Kotaku is doing the right thing, which they're not. They're not doing the right thing. And sometimes I feel that they really do know this deep down, but they just don't want to admit it because it flies in the face of whatever agenda they're trying to push. But here's the beautiful thing about the internet. Just because somebody agrees with you does not mean that you align your views with them. Sometimes you can have way different approaches to different things and still align on one subject or another. It's not like Alyssa McConaughey hasn't gone and retweeted a bunch of people who've said racist, terrible things, and most of the time the people that she retweets are people who say racist things towards other people, especially white male gamers. When she was propping up Ash Parrish was going on and calling a bunch of people Nazis, spewing a bunch of racist rhetoric. She even got community noted for this on X, saying that Ash Parrish has said a bunch of racist things, but here Alyssa is retweeting these people, supporting these people, trying to find any reason to allow them to say the things that they want. But then when Smash JT accidentally retweets somebody that he probably wouldn't agree with in terms of shooting somebody in a VR game, she takes that and she runs with it all day long, and I'll show you exactly why. This right here is Smash JT's video, which I'm going to let you guys listen to for just a minute. There's a little segment that I want to show you that you might find interesting.
And then Alyssa started direct messaging me on Twitter, and these DMs that she started sending through, I was so blown away by that I was just like, why would I respond? Like, what good can come from this? I don't think she's a very good human being. I genuinely don't. I think she looks for the
So, she said you and your ilk are sending harassment towards countless people for clout. That man could effing kill someone and you're emboldening him. So, keep in mind, this is after he apologized to her.
Sending harassment towards countless people for clout. That man wished nothing but the worst.
So she said, I truly wish nothing but the worst for you for the rest of your miserable effing life. 9:37 a.m. So this was after he said that he was taking down the post. He basically apologized to her, but that's the thing about these people at Kotaku. They don't have anything of substance to report on, nothing that they could actually bring to the table that's interesting. So what they do is they go after these smaller YouTubers and then they make a big splash about them on social media for attention and clout, which is something that she is accusing him of doing. And then she went on to say, you're an effing 45-year-old man. Look at what you're doing with your life. So he didn't even respond to this, as he said. I'll let you guys listen to this, but this part right here is very fascinating.
But like I said, I wouldn't respond to those because there was nothing good that could come from it. So I just ignored her. I smiled. I was like, she's off her meds or something right now, because this is just not normal behavior by any stretch. And she got really upset that I was ignoring those messages. And I'm like, I don't get it. I deleted what she was upset about. I kind of apologized to her. I was like, whatever, like, sorry that's big issue to you. It's gone now. Didn't matter. She screenshot it and plastered it everywhere, saying that I pushing this crazy person to kill her.
Yes, so Smash JT apologized to her, and yet she DM'd him all of that stuff afterward. And then she went and took his post and started plastering it all over social media, trying to paint him in a very negative light. This is what harassment is. The guy went and said sorry and took it down like a mature human being would. But she took it a step way too far. In fact, she took it several steps way too far. Not only did she DM a bunch of nasty things to him, but she also took that post that he apparently took down and apologized for, plastered it all over social media so that he could be attacked by a bunch of people that support her, which is a form of harassment. And guess what else she did after that? Again, keep in mind, this is a fact that she omits from her own posts and pretends didn't happen. He apologized for something that he didn't even do. He retweeted somebody that he didn't even really know, but because they said hashtag and Kotaku, something that he actually agreed with and was something that he was trying to push because Kotaku is garbage, she took that and she went to his wife in private and messaged her about it. And this is why people really hate Kotaku and the people that work there, because because of the things that these people do behind the scenes while also projecting those same things onto other people, saying that they're doing it. She says, "Hi, I'm reaching out." This is to his wife. "Hi, I'm reaching out because I just want you to be aware of the fact that your husband and father of your children, because those are two exclusive things, I guess, is sending heaps of harassment towards women, myself included." Heaps of harassment. You mean kind of like how Alyssa Mercanti was posting his now deleted post all over the internet to try and make herself look like a victim? That kind of heaps of harassment. He made one post about Alyssa Mercanti, took it down, and then talked about the way that she was messaging him and his wife, which is not harassment. She went onto his page and said a bunch of things. She took his post and posted it all over the internet. She went after his wife. He didn't make any kind of VR game with her face plastered on it, which is in part thanks to her, because she was posting her face all over the internet on purpose because she loved all of that negative attention and even invited it into her realm. But no, he's the one sending heaps of harassment even though he has done absolutely nothing. And then she says, "And other folks on social media over video games. He's writing articles about me, making videos about me, and even made a petition about me." Guess what, Alyssa? There are a lot of people making videos about you, including myself, who's making a video about you right now. Unfortunately, it's not for the reason that you're hoping. The real reason that most people report on Alyssa Mercanti and other Sweet Baby Ink defenders like her is because of the horrible rhetoric that they spew online, that they would never say to people in real life. They'll go on podcasts and say it when they're around people that agree with their ideologies. They'll go on to social media and play the victim for a bunch of attention and clout. But when it comes to real life, these people would never say these kinds of things. And as an adult, you do not go to people's family members and say things like this, especially when it's not even true. Still don't believe me that it's harassment? Well, take a look at what Jessica Cogswell, the GameSpot editor, said in response to this post that she was plastering everywhere. "The audacity of these a-holes to talk about executing a female game critic, then call it harassment when she sends screenshots of their behavior to their families is effing astounding. Smash JT was not harassing Alyssa Mercanti. He's probably just been making a bunch of reaction videos to the things that she's been saying and doing, which is her own fault." Okay, so she's conflating two different ideas. She thinks that the guy who made whatever VR game about her is the same guy who retweeted that guy. And it's not the same person, but that's what they do. They try to categorize all these people under one umbrella to make it seem like this entire movement is one big death threat. Alyssa Mercanti doesn't deserve this. None of the women going through this right now do. This guy isn't even that well known on YouTube. He doesn't even make content that gets a lot of activity. But again, how is any of this Smash JT's fault? That's what they do. They take these posts and they just blow them up. I mean, it could have ended right then and there when he's like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I took down that post. I didn't know that it was a big issue for you. I didn't even know this person that I retweeted." And then she could have been like, "Okay, cool. You know, back to fighting the culture war." But no, she had to take it so many steps farther because they're pathetic. That's why. They're pathetic and they're hateful and they hate people and they just want to find any reason to smash somebody else's life to pieces so that their livelihood can be spared. But this thing gets so much worse. Remember how I was saying that when she's posting these things all over the internet and she's getting all this attention, she's getting attention from the wrong people. Because now look, she's gotten a bunch of support from people who are unhinged. Look at this post from Grums, creative director, a big bat for Grimoire, an indie dev making Pale Tides defends Kotaku's attack on family members of critics. Look at what this says. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up. Again, who says that kind of stuff in real life? This isn't just some nobody, by the way. This is somebody who has been an artist for Warhammer. Games Workshop. Again, employees for Games Workshop / Warhammer making huge mistakes and saying stupid stuff online. Apparently that umbrella guy calls him out and he doubles down saying that it's just about holding people accountable. I guess anything goes if you have the right politics. Of course, that is the excuse much of the time. Paul Scott Canavan, a big bat. This is absolutely the play. We should be doing this with all these weird creeps. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up. Apparently this guy tried to defend this post saying, "Oh, it was taken out of context." Dude, my guy, how in the world can anybody take this out of context? You just said that it's okay to track down people's mothers and their significant others, their partners, their loves, and then string them up. How can anybody misquote that? What do you mean? Why don't you try to explain to us what you were actually trying to say? Because that's insane that would even be said. And of course, there's that umbrella guy saying, fascinating, is that a company stance? Stringing up moms and significant others? And he posted Paul Scott Canavan's bio. And then Paul said, I think you may have misunderstood. How can anybody misunderstand that? What? The conversation was about holding people accountable for their attacks on the internet. Well, what does that have to do with people's wives and significant others and family members? What do they have to do with it? You just said that those people need to be strung up. People who aren't even a part of the conversation. So what is it that has been misunderstood exactly? I don't think it's a super controversial take. Dude, this is one of the most controversial takes I've ever seen. But yeah, he responded to Alyssa's post later. I don't know. I wouldn't love if my husband was doing this. And then of course he responded saying, I mean, if I turn into a total piece of S and start harassing women online, then yeah, go nuts. And this guy freaked out, by the way, when Grumps pointed it out, because that post went semi-viral too. And he said, game dev, a big bad, just DM'd me and accused me of setting my angry fans on him because he worded a tweet poorly. Of course, but guess what? It's okay if Paul Scott Canavan words a tweet poorly, okay? If that happens, that can be rectified and then people should just leave him alone. But if Smash JT retweets somebody that he doesn't even know because they said hashtag end Kotaku and he has no idea who that person is or what they do, and apparently they have a problem with Alyssa Mercanti, it's okay to go and harass that guy's family even though he has nothing to do with whatever that content creator is doing. No, it's not okay if people just retweet somebody. No, that gives you every right to go after their family. That's what Paul is saying. That's what Alyssa is saying. They are saying it's okay to attack, harass, and stalk people's families when they do something that you do not like, when they agree with somebody that disagrees with you. I don't understand what's so poorly worded about this. This is absolutely the play. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up. What were you trying to say? Maybe somebody else can help me understand. But again, that's why I'm not surprised when we find out that Kotaku has laid off 4 more staff, one of whom wrote the Stellar Blades Eve is hottest when she's not revealing everything. Here's the article in question. This person just posted this article on Friday. Stellar Blades Eve is hottest when she's not revealing everything. Now that person is gone. Kotaku is having people fired. And while they're getting fired up at Kotaku, its senior editor and other employees like them and other friends of Kotaku, Sweet Baby Ink defenders all around, they are on the attack. They're trying to bring everybody else down with them because they know. Kotaku knows that it's going down. And so they're going to attack. They're going to have their claws out, scratching everybody that they can on the way down because it's inevitable. 4 more people gone. How many more people are they going to lose before Kotaku finally hashtag ends? And honestly, do you even need a petition? I mean, I get it. If people want to sign a petition for ending Kotaku, sure. But I think that Kotaku is doing a fine enough job on its own, ending its own career. The more Alyssa Mercanti talks, the more the reputation of Kotaku is soiled. As if it could be soiled any further than it already has been over the years. But do you see Alyssa making posts about Paul Canavan making that post? Do you see her saying, hey, I don't agree with that. I get that we're trying to stop women from being harassed, but you shouldn't go out and attack people's families. No, she's not disagreeing with that. She hasn't made a single post about it. I know because I've been on her Twitter. Grimoire, this is his page. By the way, his tweets are protected. Big surprise. That is something that they are known for doing when they're called out on the horrible things that they've said. Creative director at Grimoire, making Pale Tides. So he's a game developer, huh? The Witch RPG art for Wizards of the Coast, Valve, Inkle, No Code, Axis. In parentheses, it says Bungie, Blizzard, ANET, etc. He's done art for Warhammer. He's worked for Games Workshop. He's now a game dev. I mean, these are the kinds of people that are defending Alyssa Mercanti. All because they disagree about the direction that gaming is going in. If you accidentally retweet somebody, people can go after your wife and you can't say anything about it. And you're also a 45-year-old loser. But of course, all these young senior editors and these Games Workshop artists and game devs and people in the industry who are high up pushing a bunch of DEI, no, they are completely fine. It's okay if they attack people and say a bunch of racist things about white male gamers, say a bunch of misogynistic things about men. Just say whatever they want. But of course, we are the bad guys when we accidentally retweet somebody. If Kotaku does go down very soon, the only legacy it's going to have is that in its final days, it allowed one of its senior editors to attack a bunch of innocent people, harass them, stalk their families, post a bunch of lies, and try to twist the narrative to make it seem like gamers are the villains in all of this. That's going to be their legacy. They're going to be looking back and they're going to say, yep, that was Alyssa Mercanti's fault. I don't know what we were thinking. Why did we let this girl go onto the internet and say all of these terrible things and make our company look worse than it already does? And I think at that point, the regret will truly set in, but it will already be too late. great. And that is all I've got for you guys in this video today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you haven't had the chance to like it and share it with your friends, that would be awesome. And hey, if you're feeling ultra spicy, consider subscribing to my channel so that you're always up to date on what kind of thing I've got going on. I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Later. Meow meow.